A few months ago, I was looking through old photos on my phone, not for any reason, just scrolling. And suddenly I found pictures of people I used to talk to almost every day. People I was convinced would be part of my life for years. Some of them I haven't spoken to in ages. Not because of a fight, not because anything terrible happened. Life simply kept moving. And somehow, without anybody noticing, an entire chapter ended. That moment stayed with me because it made me realize something uncomfortable. Most endings don't look like endings when they're happening. Nobody tells you this is the last time. The last conversation with an old friend usually sounds like a normal conversation. The last day of a phase of your life feels like an ordinary day. The last time your family is together in a certain way happens without anybody realizing it. Life doesn't announce its endings. It hides them inside normal moments. And maybe that's why they are so hard to accept. I think a lot of suffering comes from one simple misunderstanding. We believe things are supposed to stay. We know everything changes, we say it all the time, but deep down we expect stability. We expect people to remain. We expect circumstances to remain. We expect parts of our lives to remain recognizable. And when they don't, we call it loss. But maybe loss is not always what happened. Maybe reality simply continued doing what reality has always done: moving. When I was younger, I thought happiness meant reaching a point where things finally settled. A stable life, stable relationships, stable emotions, a stable future. But the older I get, the more I realize life doesn't stay still long enough for that. The moment you become comfortable with one chapter, another one begins. The person you are today is already replacing someone you used to be. Think about that. The version of you from 5 years ago is gone. Not dead, just gone. The way you thought, the things you worried about, the people you spent your time with, the dreams you had, the fears you carried, some of them survived, many didn't. And yet you don't mourn every version of yourself that disappeared. You accept it because growth required it. So why do we struggle so much when other things change? Maybe because we confuse permanence with meaning. We assume that if something ends, it somehow becomes less valuable. A friendship ends, people say it failed. A relationship ends, people say it wasn't meant to be, or you deserve better. A chapter closes, people act as though it no longer matters. But that doesn't make sense. A song doesn't become worthless because it finishes. A sunset doesn't become meaningless because darkness follows. A good conversation doesn't lose its value because eventually somebody stands up and leaves. The ending doesn't erase the experience. In many cases, the ending is exactly what gave it value in the first place. I think about that whenever I see people postponing life, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting until they are more confident, waiting until everything feels certain. But life has never waited for anyone. The hardest truth I've had to accept is that life keeps moving whether I'm ready or not. People change, opportunities disappear, parents grow older, friends move away, dreams evolve, priorities shift, entire years vanish, and none of it asks for permission. At first it sounds depressing, but I don't think it is. I think it's the reason life matters at all. Imagine if nothing ended, if every day repeated forever, if people never left. Imagine if every opportunity stays available indefinitely. What would urgency mean? What would appreciation mean? What would gratitude mean? You value things because they are limited, not despite it, because of it. That's why some of the most beautiful moments in life are also the most painful. You know they won't last. A family gathering, a childhood memory, a conversation late at night, a phase of life that feels perfect while it's happening. Part of their beauty comes from the fact that they are already slipping away. And maybe maturity is learning to stop fighting that, not becoming detached, not pretending you don't care, not acting like loss doesn't hurt, but understanding that pain is often the piece of loving something fully. Because if something never mattered, its ending wouldn't hurt. The goal isn't to avoid attachment. The goal is to appreciate things without demanding they stay forever. And that's a difficult lesson. I'm still learning it myself. Sometimes I still find old photos, old messages, memories, and for a moment I wish I could go back. But then I remember something. If I went back, I wouldn't appreciate those moments the way I do now. And maybe I didn't. Their value comes partly from the fact that they are gone. And maybe there's the strange gift hidden inside every ending. It teaches you that life was never about keeping things. It was about experiencing them. Because in the end, everything ends. The good, the bad, the exciting, the painful, the chapters you loved, the chapters you couldn't wait to leave behind. Everything. And maybe peace begins when we stop asking life to be permanent and start being grateful that, for a little while,
it was ours.